It just wait. 2020 is great. Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm gonna do a kind of year recap thing of 2020 because it's just been great and I have to do this. I feel obligated. And this will be like everything that's happened like equine related. So we're gonna start off in January because that's the first month of the year. I have my handy dandy calendar that I love and it's great, and I write down all shows in it. January, I started off doing a show at Heritage on the 4th. I actually did really well. I got first, and second in walk, drop, canter. Not much else happened in January. We had a lot of indoor lessons. It was a lot of fun. February, I believe this was when our barn got Asher, the new horse, and I love him very much. I fell in love with him. He was adorable. Like, isn't he adorable? He's great. But I didn't really start helping out with him until March. But in February, I also had another Heritage rated show. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened in that. I have all my ribbons surrounding me in like a giant circle, and I can show video. These are all my ribbons. And then I have show numbers. So, they all have dates written on the back of them, so like I kind of want to like take them all down and look at like, you know, what date it was and what place I got, because I write like a little conclusion. March was when I started working with Asher and a couple of other green ponies and stuff like that. Corinth, Lucaya, and Athena. They were a lot of fun to work with. I did like groundwork, some grooming, ground manners, stuff like that with all of them. It was a lot of fun. I also had my first ride on Shimmy, a horse at our barn. I was trying to maybe look at riding a different horse once in a while. I wanted to try and experiment because I had been riding GP for about a solid 2 years, 1.5 years maybe. So I wanted to kind of mix things up a bit, and I did. I rode him for about 2 times and then decided not to, and that he wasn't the horse I wanted to ride. So sorry, Shimmy. So April, I actually started trying to make treats for a treat business. That kind of didn't really ever take off. It started to grow, and I was gonna start like actually releasing and selling them once I reached like 100, but I never did. But that's also because I stopped posting and stopped making treats altogether, so that's kind of a bummer. Oh, you know, I'm an idiot. I didn't show it all in March, April, or May, because you know why? Shows were closed down. You know, my brain has just kind of permanently locked out that couple months of my life because no one really liked those ones. Oh my god. So, let's skip back a little bit. April, I believe, was when the barn closed down. April or March, like late March. So that's when I started making treats. I started going over to my neighbor's horses as well. And oh my god. But I started going over to my neighbor's horses. They have 2 horses, Rosie and Chance. And I went up, gave them some treats, and I wanted to do more stuff with them, but they're kind of like little strict. They didn't want to have me die there, so that was very nice of them. But yeah, so I didn't show much. The barn, we were able to go back, I want to say sometime in late May. So I did double check the dates. The barn officially closed late March, like at the very end of last week, and then reopened like the very first week of May. Okay, so now we're in June. I had a Hollyhurst show on the 14th. We actually did really good because that was our first time showing in 2-3 jumping, because before then we had been doing walk, trot, canter, and then some like cross rail classes just for fun, because I really was trying to place in walk, trot, canter for CPJ HSA. But we placed reserve champion. And then at the end of June was the best weekend ever, State College. Oh, it was so much fun. It was my first A-rated show, and I had so much fun with all my friends and everything. We showed in walk, trot, canter, and mods because we went for Mount Nittany weekend, like the 3-day of Mount Nittany, I believe. I don't know if they were doing pre's. All I know is Betsy had me do mods, which I was so proud of how we did in mods. There was like 10 people and we placed in every single class. We got 4th in a jumping division, which I was very proud of, 5th, and then 7th because he almost refused, and then we got 2nd in the under saddle out of like 10 people. So I was very proud of how we did, and it was just like the greatest weekend of my life. So July is actually when I stopped making treats and stuff for my treat business. I just kind of just stopped. But I also had my first ride on Tanner in July, who was the horse that I was already doing some ground manners with and that I was hoping to hop on more in like September when he was ready. But Betsy said, hey, you want to hop on him now? Let's see how this goes. And it was so much fun. I started lessoning him like every other week because I still was focusing on the show season with GP, because this year was the first show season that I actually focused on and did lots of shows. Like other years I would only do 1 or 2 schooling shows, you know, but this season was the one I really focused on. I kept riding him and he was great. I kept training him, teaching him how to jump and stuff like that, and he was just my soul horse. But I guess that couldn't last long because it just wait. 2020 is great. August, I had another show at Heritage. This is where we started to really not do good. I'm like 90% sure this is when I fell off at a show. So, yay. I fell off in the warm-up ring. He refused and I like fell over the jump. I was nervous already. We didn't do great and that hurt my confidence, so that made us do more not great. But I had a lot of fun memories at like Heritage shows because pre's would go at the very end of the day at like 8 o'clock, so the sun would be setting, it would be nice, and I would get dinner at like 9 o'clock. It'd be great. Just like State College weekend where I literally ate dinner at 9 o'clock. GP's birthday was also in August. It was August 13th, and I actually wasn't here. I was down in New Jersey, and Audrey sent me some pictures. September, I had another Heritage show. Yay. I want to say this is also around the time that Tanner got really injured to the point where I couldn't ride him for months and still can't ride him. He had gotten injured a couple of times before, like where he was on stall rest for like a couple weeks, but it was something to do with his shoes and injections we gave him that were supposed to help, but they did the opposite. And he can still not be ridden. He is supposedly getting better, but my plan was actually to show him for his first show in the Halloween show, but I couldn't because he was injured. So I want to say this happened late September. And around this time as well, I also went on this trail ride with some of my parents' friends. And it was a lot of fun. We got to like gallop up these roads and go through the forest, jump over some jumps, like kind of like a cross-country trail ride. It was a lot of fun, and I'm hoping to go out there and do some more with them and, you know, help them out with their horses. Also in September was the CPJ HSA benefit show. That was a lot of fun. that was at Swan Lake this year because the farm show complex was closed down. I was up somewhere else, so I wasn't there for like the first 2 days, but I got there for the night before and I schooled him. He was good, and then I showed him. He was absolutely crazy because I had never ridden him in that ring, and I didn't jump him the time I had schooled him the day before because I wasn't here, and we didn't do great. We got 4ths and 5ths in prees, and he was very crazy bucking. He didn't refuse once, which Betsy was very proud of me for, so yay. But it was still a fun weekend. I got to see a lot of other people do a lot better than me, so go you guys. So we're now in October. Around this time I actually tried this horse, Brennan. He is for sale still, I believe. And Betsy's like, do you want to try him? And I was like, sure. I wasn't looking to buy him or anything. I didn't buy him. That's not the big news or anything like that. But I liked him. I kept riding him for a little bit until his owner said she didn't want to lease him out to anyone and that I could like lesson on him occasionally. But so that only lasted a couple of weeks. So I started riding him mid-October and then ended about mid-November. The Hollyhurst, we had a Halloween show. Me and GP showed in that because I couldn't show Tanner because he's injured. We dressed as Angel and Devil. But we did walk, trot, canter, and prees. We did okay. In both of them. We did like mediocre in walk, trot, canter, and then like mediocre in prees. But it was still fun. It was really cool to see a bunch of other people's costumes. There was also the Hollyhurst show on November 1st, which was a lot of fun as well. I only did prees that day. Like, it was so small, the amount of people that were there, so we were done like real quick. But we also did like mediocre that day, but I got really cool ribbons because I got really cool ribbons because they were giving out different ribbons. November was the time I stopped riding Brennan around, and then I started riding Manny because I was like really looking for a horse that I could ride for the next show season, because Tanner was supposed to be my horse for the next show season, and he got injured and he wasn't like showing any signs of getting better fast, so I had to go to another plan of a different horse because I didn't want to keep riding GP. I kind of wanted to level up. I am still riding Manny. I'm dealing with him. And he's a good horse, so I'm getting used to him. And now it's December, so hi. For CPJ HSA that I was trying to place in divisions, I placed in walk, trot, canter 5th out of like 12 people, I want to say. And then for prees, I placed 6th out of like 13 or so people. And like around the time I started riding Brennan, I really stopped kind of riding GP, because I pretty much, after I was told I couldn't ride Brennan, I pretty much like immediately switched to Manny. So I haven't really ridden GP much lately. Anyway, so hopefully 2021 will be better than 2020. But based how we are, it won't be. I'm so confident. But I hope you all had a good year. I'd say overall my year was good. There was lots of ups and downs. Not really virus related, just can't have a horse to ride related. So, yeah, see you guys next year.